morning and happy Saturday, everyone. Just wanted to take a quick minute to meditate on something that's really been on my mind a lot lately. Don't know how long this video is going to end up being, but let's get to the point. Sometimes when we're growing up, we're giving a set of standards or a set of morals about what things a woman should do for her man and what things a man should do in order for the woman to be considered a lady and in order for a man or boy to grow into a man. A woman is told that she should be submissive to the person that she is with, that she should do these things and that she should cater to these needs and that she should be nothing that is disrespectful to the person that she's committing her life to being with, and that the man should treat his mate as if she was his mother or his sister or his daughter and like nothing less. Love her on the capacity and do nothing to her that you wouldn't want anyone to do to your mother, your sister, or your daughter. Those are the things we are taught when we are growing up. But nobody tells us what to do with those things. When you are all of those things to someone who continuously, or should I say on repeat, hurt you over and over, whether it's verbally, whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically. Because growing up, you were taught that no matter what happens, you stay in that situation. But what we fail to realize is when we continue to stay in those type situations, even when we've prayed about it, because God gives us common sense and tells us that it's time to move on, but we're so afraid of what man says or what this world says that we find ourselves stuck in situations for way longer than we ever should be, just because we were taught to be a lady. Are you going to continue to be a lady for a man who shows you no respect, who doesn't come home, who takes care of the streets more so than he takes care of home, that he puts everything else as a priority and you're on the back burner? As a matter of fact, you're not even on the back burner. You're not even in a house. Men, are you supposed to take the verbal abuse? Yes, men are verbally abused. Yes, men are emotionally abused and physically abused by females. Just as, it happens more often than we'd like to admit. Are men supposed to cry alone at night because somebody didn't make them feel like they were supposed to, and they're still trying to take care of a household where the woman doesn't respect her, where the children don't respect her, where he can't even have a sense of respect for himself? What are we showing our children when we stay in messes that we should have long loosed? What are we teaching our children? What are they going to teach our grandchildren? We're creating a generation of repeat dysfunction because we go with what we were taught a long time ago. Yes, don't lower your standards, but don't stay in mess that has no intentions of being a blessing to you. Yeah, I'm one to speak. I want to speak on that because I'm guilty of those such things. But once we wake up and once we realize that, hey, there are children watching us. Hey, our parents hurt and they still held on to it. They were miserable. Some of us saw parents commit infidelity, acts of infidelity. But on the outside looking in, they still had to pretend to be a big, happy family when they were so much less than that. So we are teaching patterns of dysfunction because we are holding on to things and people and situations that don't belong in our lives. It's the same thing as climbing up a ladder and having someone on your team to be holding the other end of the ladder. And when you get to the top of the ladder, you're still near the ground because the person that was holding the ladder is actually sawing it down. So yes, you may be on the top step of the ladder, but you're only about an inch off the ground. Watch who you place on your team, because everybody that's placed on your team doesn't have staying power. Yes, you have the right to reposition, to take the player out of the game and replace it. But sometimes we just choose to do as society tells us to do. Oh, you committed to this. You just stick to this. This is how it should be. Showing and growing different levels of dysfunction. That just isn't right. At some point in the game, we need to wise up and break the cycle. The cycle doesn't get broken when we are doing it on repeat. We saw our parents fall apart. Some of us may have even seen our grandparents fall apart, but they held on without really holding on. Him doing his thing, her doing her thing, and then still calling it a functioning family, because that's what family does. Family doesn't walk off. If family is tearing each other apart, if family is killing one another, sometimes you got to take the disease part out in order to cure the whole. Today, I guess I was long-winded, but I had to say what it was that was on my mind to say. If there is some dysfunction in your life, if there are some cycles that needs to be broken, if there is some toxicity in your life, you need to remove those diseased parts, because the smaller diseased parts becomes a whole diseased being. Remove it before it gets any worse. Sometimes we are our worst enemies because we continue holding on to garbage in our minds, in our bodies, that we have no business holding on to. Have a wonderful and blessed Saturday, everyone. This is a word that has been on my mind and in my heart for quite some time. Had to get it out into